This is types of numbers for Algebra 1. In Algebra 1, normally we start with learning what types of numbers there are in the world, okay? Every single number that we have talked about thus far has been a real number. These are numbers that you see every single day. 1, a half, a third, pi, all of the numbers that we've dealt with are real numbers, okay? And the symbol for real numbers is, I call it a double R, okay? And it means every single number that we can think of, okay? This excludes imaginary numbers, but most of you probably haven't heard about that, and that'll happen farther down the line, okay? So first we're looking at real numbers, and again, those are any types of numbers, okay? Numbers that you're probably most familiar with would be a rational number. These are numbers like 1, 2, a third, or a half. It could be a fraction or a decimal, 3.5. Okay? These numbers are fractions or decimals that stop. Okay? These are numbers that you see all the time. Their symbol is a Q. Okay? Our symbols you might not need to know, but they are kind of handy just to kind of know what they might be. Okay? And finally, our last, another type of rational number would be an integer. You guys have been using these for ever, since probably kindergarten. These are whole numbers, positive and negative. So negative 1, 0, 1, 2, etc. on both sides of that, positive and negative. Okay? And this symbol is a Z. Okay, so all those are types of real numbers. They're rational numbers. And you can go down even farther to whole numbers, which are just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and those go on. And then even farther, natural numbers, which would just be counting numbers. So you'd exclude the 0. But most of the time in Algebra 1, rational and integer are numbers that you're looking at. Okay, the big thing here is a rational number can be a fraction or decimal, and it ends. Okay, it doesn't go on forever and ever and ever. Okay, on the flip side, we have irrational numbers. Now they're also real numbers, but they're in their own little category. And with these numbers, they never terminate. They're non-repeating, never terminate, okay? So we can kind of make a little note there. Non-repeating, okay? So probably the most common irrational number would be pi. Okay, another one would be the square root of 2. Okay, if you were to type that into your calculator, you just get numbers that would go on forever and ever. Okay, maybe the square root of 3. Okay, so those are just the basics of types of numbers. Okay, so now we're going to get to going on and look at a couple definitions. Okay, a collection of objects such as numbers. Okay, that is called a set. And you can have sets of many, many different things. You could have a collection of students in a class. That would be a set. Or a collection of crayons in a crayon box. Okay. You can have a lot of different types of sets. Okay. Now the objects that are in that set, so maybe they're numbers or maybe they're the people in the class, those are called elements. All right. And then this last one, it's a little more difficult. A subset. Okay, so subsets. Okay, B is a subset of A if each element in B is also in A. Now that's kind of wordy and it's a little bit difficult to understand, so we're going to do an example here. So if I have my collection A is just numbers 1 through 10, my subset means whatever numbers are in B also have to be in A. So I'm going to say the even numbers. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. That would be a subset because every single thing in B is also in A. All right, now the beginning of Algebra 1 also has, it kind of has a collection of everything. We're also going to talk about inequality signs, okay? So a less than sign, just kind of as a refresher. Less than, it's small and then big. Less than or equal to, you have that extra line, okay? That means it's going to include whatever number, okay? Greater than, you just go ahead and flip those. All right, so this is types of numbers for Algebra 1.